All right, you've now heard from all our candidates, so you know the good news and the bad news. The good news is we've got 8 excellent candidates. The bad news is you folks are going to have to make a choice someday, whenever the federal courts allow us to have an election. So we're going to move on to some questions. And the first question will be a 1-minute question. If elected, you will be one of 435 members of the House of Representatives, an institution in which seniority plays a very important part. How will you as a freshman member be effective in representing your district? And the first answer is from Randy Weber.
Perfect. I'm going to stand in place here. Republican caucus, floor of the House of Representatives, 101 Republicans last session. I was the internal communications director. I had all 150 state reps programmed into my cell phone. I met a state rep or a senator. I programmed in their email and their cell phone number. And people were amazed that I had done that. I learned on the floor of the House who you could trust, who you could look dead center and talk to, and you could understand that they were shooting straight with you. You watching my time, Michael? How am I doing? All right, you've got 30 seconds. You've got to work with people. You've got to be forceful. They've got to know that where you're coming from, that they can't pull the wool over your eyes. You go and you talk to them. I was in charge of the 6 floor whips. We'd go around and we'd say, important amendment coming up. I started a chat room. They'd never done that in the House of Representatives. We got the word out. We worked on conservative legislation. I've worked with people. I've done it in the Texas House. I'll do it for you in D.C. Mr. Chairman, I yield my time.
Next response is from Ms. Harris.
Thank you very much. Well, with 435 representatives, the key to being successful is obviously building relationships. That's true in any business environment, is you've got to build relationships. So the first order of business is to find your friends, build relationships, understand from their perspective what their issues are, and then share with them what our issues are. Obviously, this is a House of Representatives of 435 individuals from across the country, and so the issues are very diverse. But just as an example, we have in this district 5 ports, right? We have 5 ports in this district, and those ports need our help right now. They're not getting their fair share of the harbor maintenance tax coming back. I've already talked to some folks at the Port Bureau, and one of the efforts is to share with the non-coastal states and their representatives why it's so important to them that our ports get the help they need from the tax dollars they send to D.C. It's important to understand how we can all work together, share their perspectives, because those non-coastal states, where do you think they get their bananas from? Where do you think they get their pineapples from? And some of the other goods and services that they need. They get them right here from us, and it's building that mutual trust and responsibility going both ways that's going to make this Congresswoman effective in Congress for you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rowland.
Well, again, I'm Jay Old. I know there's so many of us. I want to make sure we all try to repeat our names so you can keep track of us. But I've been a leader in everything I've done from when I was in junior high and felt we needed to create a student government for my middle school, and I did it. You know, unfortunately, I didn't win the election, believe it or not, but we did create it. And I've been a leader in college at A&M. I was a leader in law school, and I've been a leader in my profession. I worked with our Chamber of Commerce, and we've gone to Austin and lobbied for our community. I've been to Washington, D.C. with Associated Builders and Contractors, and what I've learned along the way is integrity, credibility, and hard work get you past those early stages where you have to get to know people. And if you maintain a true vision for who you are, and you do the right thing in everything you do, you'll be successful. That's how I've been the leader of my profession and in my community, and I think that's the best way to do it. Thank you.
Robert Gonzalez.
I spent a lot of time in Austin this last 82nd legislative session. Unfortunately, the dirty little secret is that the committees are the ones that make these bills get passed or they die. We followed 7 illegal immigration bills this last session. Not one of them were voted on by the House because they never went through Calendar's committee. So it starts at the top, and then the committee lieutenants are the ones that decide what gets out and what stays in. Now, I say that to say this, that the way you fix it in Washington, because I'm not going to fix it in Austin, what we'll fix it in Washington is you have to have term limits. I want to term limit Congress to 4 terms, 8 years, and the Senate to 2 terms, 12 years. If you limit Congress to 4 terms, then everybody is fresh, and you don't have these entrenched politicians in committees keeping good bills from getting out. Bottom line, that's how you do it. Thank you.
Bill Sargent.
Hi, I'm Bill Sargent. First thing, as I said earlier, the important thing is to forge trust between you and the other members and integrity. Without that, nothing's going to happen. Second thing you want to do is you want to look for common goals. I've done that on the Hill. I've done that for a long time on the Hill. And it worked because they trusted who I was. They trusted that I wasn't playing political games. And I pulled Democrats and Republicans together to get legislation through. I've done that here in the county. One of my biggest supporters for the job I have now, which is running the elections department in Galveston, is Lloyd Chris. He's the chairman of the Democratic Party. So we've been able to, because of the integrity, we've been able to get the job done. If you have common goals, fine. If you can't find that, look for viable alternatives. What you do is you try to figure out what that person wants and what you want and find a middle ground where you both can agree without stepping over that line of compromising your credibility or your principles. You need to forge common ground. And that's what I'll do if you send me to Washington. Thank you.
Tim Day.
Well, I'm going to take LBJ trick book, and basically what he did was he found out everything about a congressman and a senator. And everything, you know. He know exactly what they like, what they eat, everything. That's the way to do it. And plus also I'm keeping all Ron Paul Congress staff on board. So that'll be another reason give me an edge on building relationships. And plus I'm going to go get that money. They're going to give me leverage. You feel me? All right. Hold on, I got 31 seconds. Anybody else got a question? Well, you got a question. All right.
Michael Trincali.
The first thing you must do in order to be effective for you is to listen to you, and then to go to Washington and represent you, and then come home and be sure that in everything I do, I represent the interest of this district. One other thing that is important, that based upon my years of experience in the Republican Party and the relationships that I have developed with our United States senators as well as with other Texans who serve in the United States Congress, I'll work with my friends there. I will attend all of the meetings that they have each week of the Texas delegation and make sure that Galveston County's issues are put before the other congressmen from Texas. I also know as a university regent you have to work with people from other areas of the country and other areas of the state. I've done this before, and I want them to understand how important our industries are to the rest of the country. And therefore, I will go to someone who's giving us a hard time on excessive regulation and say, listen, friend, I know you're from Ohio, but we have a resin that comes from a refinery here. It's feedstock for a factory in your district. If you don't help us, it'll hurt your district. Please work with us on what we're trying to accomplish to make Galveston a better place. Thank you.
John Gay.
First off, you have to send somebody with some bite to them. You want somebody that will fight for you. You can usually count on a lawyer to do what's legal. I am not a lawyer. You can count on me to do what's right. I am going there to fight for you. I have been a problem solver all my life. I graduated from high school when I was 16. When I went to college, I became a single parent, and I had full custody. I was raising my 2 children by myself, working full-time and going to school full-time. And I asked God to help me with that, and I said, if you want to get the credit for me having wealth, then you need to bless me with a nice home now. I had a 4-bedroom home at a yacht club, golf club community called Walden on Lake Conroe, while I was still a student at A&M as a single parent. You can get it done if you're not afraid of whose toes you step on. I'm not going there as a freshman congressman. I'm going there as your representative. And I want to hear from you. And one of the ways we're doing that is through this website, IWantMyFutureBack.org, where you can vote on the issues and you can send me with a mandate. And then I've got your power. Thank you.